So this July 4 weekend just gone, I went to Jekyll Island, which is about a 5 hour drive away from Atlanta. So we spent most of the day driving, got there to this hotel with the fam, and it was a bit a long travel day. Me and the misso got stuck into these little kind of like these little THC weed fruit juices you can buy here. Georgia has got weed laws where you can't buy weed, but you can. There's all these like sneaky workarounds where you can buy like weed in a drink. Man, so we're like, fuck it, let's get stuck into a couple of these 10 milligram babies each. And if you've listened to this show before, I've gone on about how every time I ingest weed, I get paranoid. But this was kind of like a very low level paranoia, low dosage. And it was nice kind of buzz, but definitely some kind of nervousness and just frolicking in the pool with the little fella when it kicked in. And then we had kind of like a minor panic because we'd had we got some dinner reservations for this restaurant. We assumed it was in one part of the hotel, but we realized it was on another section of the hotel where we were going to have to drive. So I drove a little high across to this other side of the island where the hotel was. And, to be crystal clear, I had like one beer at the pool, this little 10 milligram. I had all my faculties, but I was like, there's a little bit of like, I don't know, kind of like I felt like a little bit of a bunny. I was a bit jumpy. That's all I was in terms of being impaired. So we walk into this restaurant, new place. I'd never been there before. Get ushered to the table. We got there bang on time, so everything was cool. Sat there, ordered some food, had a drink, and then I was like, oh, I should take a piss before the food comes out. Stood up, did the thing that we've all done so many times before. Where is the bathroom in this place? Where could it be? I was standing in a part of it's quite a large restaurant, kind of like an open space. I was like, where could it be? I was like, it could be down there, but that looks like it's headed towards the kitchen. And then it could be over there, but that could just be like leading to another section of the hotel. That's probably just where the guests go. And I was so in my head. And eventually, I don't know, someone walked past, the waitress walked past. She's like, looking for the bathroom, sir. I was like, as a matter of fact, I am. She's like, oh, don't worry, we hide it from people. It's just this way. And I was like, thank you. And I felt like such a failure that I couldn't find the fucking bathroom. Because at this point, you feel like you should be able to, right? Like you've been to a restaurant thousands of times in your life. You'd think that you could figure it out at this point, but they're all just a little different, aren't they? They're all just a little different. And there's been many times before where I've been like, it's got to be here. You march in a certain direction, then you fucking next minute you're in the kitchen. It's like the Bear Show. That little dude is running around being like, I need 4 PB&J stat. That kind of vibe. And you don't want that to happen. You want to find the bathroom on your own terms and not have to ask someone. Maybe that's a male thing, asking for directions, but I don't know. I had a very kind of like a trudge to the bathroom dejectedly and being like, I'm a fucking failure. It was a real kind of Larry David Kirby enthusiasm moment where I was like, why does this keep happening? Surely I've figured out the kind of the general layout of restaurants at this point. And I know it's them, it's not me. It's not me, it's them. But I can't help but feel like a bit of a fucking loser that I don't know where the bathroom is in a new place. Maybe they could set up a system like a color coding system so there's no awkwardness. It would ruin the aesthetic of places, but I don't know, some governments could be like, this is a public this is a public service. We need to stop people. We need to build up their ego a little bit more and their self-worth. People have been feeling down on their luck for too long because they don't know where the the bathroom is, and we need to make it very simple for people. Some fucking braille on the wall for some, maybe for the blindies out there. Let's eliminate this from our lives. But I think ultimately, if I go deep, and I was there after my weed juice, and I got back to the table, and I was just kind of like pretending to talk to my family, but I was just completely internalizing, like, why do I feel like such a failure? I think ultimately it comes down to that you're almost upset about it's like a design flaw from God, that at any moment you need to like leak shit or piss out of your orifices, and you're just depending on wherever you are, the establishment, to have like a place for you to do that privately and in a clean. You just feel like a bit of a schmuck, really. You're like, oh my God, I'm such an animal that I need to do this in this nice restaurant, but can you help me out? You just, every time you step into public, you're basically being like, well, unless there's a bush or some trees here where I could kind of skirt off and do my business at one with nature, I'm relying on the public utility of a bathroom here. And so maybe that's it. Maybe you don't, it's not, you feel like a failure, not because of like, yeah, I haven't figured out the design nuances of restaurants. It's more a case of like, oh my God, I'm such a filthy animal. I have to do this every time. Even when you prep ahead, I'm a big let's use my one before I leave my house. I'm like, well, you just pissed 5 minutes before. It doesn't matter, mate. Pretend you're a senile old man. Go just in case, because that's going to at least buy you a bit of time, buy you a window. But inevitably, you find yourself desperate. Excuse me, where's the bathroom? Because I'm an animal. Something's about to start leaking out. Tell me if you can relate. Or is this me just being a stoned, paranoid moron again?